Hey, Craig. I got a Dave Cook and a Jake Searle. They're probably all the same, but. Full house tonight. My goodness.
Yeah, maybe it is 7 o'clock. It is 7 p.m. Monday, January 5th, 2026. Time to call the Ferrysburg City Council meeting to order. Amber, could you call roll, please?
Councilmember Montgomery.
Here.
Councilmember Sias.
Here.
Councilmember Murdoch. Here. Councilmember Kate. Councilmember DeWitt.
Here.
Councilmember Cook.
Here.
Mayor Carlson.
Here.
Your Honor, I ask that we excuse Councilman.
Support.
Councilmember Montgomery.
Yes.
Councilmember Sias.
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Yes.
Councilmember Cook.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. If we could all rise for a invocation, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. You don't have anyone to lead the invocation. You're going to feel led to lead the invocation? I am?
The duties of the mayor.
We'll have a moment of silence. Now, if you can join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Wouldn't you know it, I always try to come prepared with a prayer in my pocket, and today I'm wearing a pocketless shirt, and I was totally unprepared. Now's the time for public comments. This time on the agenda is for any citizen to direct brief comments or questions to the city council. Time for public comments will be given when the agenda item is discussed. If you have a comment or question, please position yourself in a line near the wall, near the podium, to ensure visibility and to be recognized. And after being recognized by the mayor, please give your name and your address of residency for the record and proceed with your comment or question. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Should add that there will be time for agenda items for public comment. There is a work session tonight for the fire department, and there is no public comment in work sessions. So if you have a public comment regarding the work session item, the fire department, I would urge you to do it now or after, at the close of the meeting. Do we have any public comment?
Hi, John Winfrey. I'm the president of the Park Place Condominium Association. My street address is 17547 Park Place Circle. So the reason I'm here tonight, I wish I could stay longer, but I can't, is about the fire barn and the whole idea of moving it over to Spring Lake. What's that going to do for all of our insurances? Because we have HOA insurance, and then we have individual insurance on our individual units. Not to mention everybody else here with insurance on their places. You see what I'm saying? So is the fire barn going to stay there? You know, is it going to save the city money but cost all of us money? So that's kind of where I'm coming from. Our insurance is enough as it is. So anyhow, that's my comment. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you. Do we have any other public comment tonight?
Good evening, Tim O'Donnell, 540 Ferry Street. Just a couple of things I wanted to remind the council of. The purchase of the new engine was approved by the vote through the Public Millage Act. So that's not actually part of the budget. Just the, needs the approval of the council and the disbursement of the funds. The department budget, Chief Olthoff has done an excellent job with, if you look at the budget, it hasn't really changed over the last few years. And unfortunately, there's a lot of skyrocketing costs in everything. We have a agreement with the surrounding townships and fire departments to come in and aid us, and we do give aid to them at the same time. That's the best possible merger, is where we get together, we train, we do everything. It has no effect on the budget. Also, the response time would greatly increase if it went to a full-time department other than Ferrisburg. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Anyone else with any public comment tonight? Seeing none, let's move on. Agenda item number 6 is a consideration for approval of the consent agenda. 6A, approved the December 15th, 2025 City Council minutes as printed. 6B, approved the bills memo in the amount of $141,225.99. And 6C, adopt the 2026 City Council goals. I would accept a motion, please.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Any discussion on this, folks?
I have a discussion related to the bills memo. My question is related to the Granicus rental software in the amount of $6,891.50. My recollection is that software was used, or that service is used to allow residents to file complaints regarding short-term rentals, as well as allowing the city to keep track of rentals within the city boundary. How is that program going? Are we getting our money's worth? How many complaints have we had since we implemented it this summer?
We've had about 3 or 4 complaints go through Granicus. It took a little bit longer than we'd anticipated to get it up and running. I think got all the bugs worked out of it now. It seems to, we're going to be sending rental letters out, I think today or tomorrow, for 2026. And with that program, it should be a lot easier tracking that stuff. So at this time, staff is pleased with how it turned out, and we're going to monitor. The first year was kind of rough. We'll monitor the second year, and we'll bring it back to City Council next year.
Thanks.
Anyone else regarding the consent agenda? Seeing none, Amber.
Councilmember Sias.
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt.
Yes.
Councilmember Cook.
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to new business, item 7A, presentation by Ellen Peters, the Executive Director of the Loudoun District Library, and Andrea Marino, Ferrisburg representative to the Loudoun District Library Board.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you.
Bill, Kate will need one. Yeah.
Okay.
Guess the microphone is this on? Okay. I'm Ellen Peters, the Executive Director for Loudoun District Library, and this is Andrea Morano, our newest board member representing the city of Ferrisburg. We're delighted to have her on our board. Very excited. And so we would like to start by wishing everybody a Happy New Year. We're happy to be here, so thank you for having us. We want to update you on what we've been doing since the last time we were here, which was in the late spring. As you know, our millage passed last year, and we started receiving our extra funds in July. And so since then, we've been able to expand our open hours, both on weeknights and on the weekends. And we've also expanded our hours in our local history and genealogy department, both on weeknights, an extra day of the week, and on Saturdays. We've begun outreach into our community. We're now regularly visiting 10 assisted living centers, multiple preschools, and K through 12 schools. And we recently acquired a Tover Toffel Pixie, which is a projector with software used primarily for dementia patients and adults with cognitive disabilities. It's mobile, so we can take it to these centers who have these patients, and it has an amazing impact on these patients. So it projects images down onto the table, and it engages these patients, and it's really miraculous. So even the employees at these centers were just kind of watching it, and then they saw people who are nonverbal start to talk and engage with this, and they were like shocked. And so everybody in the community is really excited about this. That was donated by a family in the community. So we're really excited to have that. We've looked into a couple of the assisted living centers right near here, but unfortunately they're in the Spring Lake Library District, so we can't poach those. But we tried. Also, in order to accomplish these goals, the way that we did it was to take several of our part-time staff and move them to full-time, and which we benefited them, which is wonderful for retention and recruitment. And so we have just a stellar staff. They're really, really excited to do all of this outreach. They've come up with some really wonderful ideas, and they're just, if you see them in the building, they're just happy all the time. They're really doing some amazing programming and stuff. We still promise the one thing that we haven't done yet that we said that we would do with our millage that involves Ferrisburg in particular is to do the lockers that we want to do. So we priced those out, and when we went to purchase them, the price had gone way up. So Kate Tobin, our emerging technologies librarian, is currently trying to find us some cheaper lockers that we can put in here, because what we would like to do, instead of just a drop box and a set of lockers, we would like to do one kiosk where it does everything, and you can have holds, you can browse, and it's just like one-stop shopping. But it's kind of cost prohibitive right now. So if we can't afford that, we will do it kind of the cheaper way. And I'll keep you posted on that. And we're hoping we can do it though. So we haven't forgotten about you. We're just trying to make it work. Other things of note, our digital download materials continues to rise. You can see it in the annual report. Last year we had over 165,000 visitors come to the library. People also use our public computers aside from checking out materials, and they come to our amazing programs. We had over 589 programs last year, and we have everything from story times and Sunday concerts to hiking in the parks and dancing classes. So it's a wide variety of stuff. We also collaborate with a lot of businesses and organizations in the communities, and we work with schools on a regular basis, so we have a lot of community partners. So that's really about it. That's kind of our update. If anybody has any questions, we're happy to answer.
I think you had a publication recently, correct me if I'm wrong, that talked about 3D printers.
Yes, so the Wanderers family donated money for us to put in a makerspace in an art studio. The construction on that starts this month, and it'll be finished by the summer, and they're paying for the whole thing. And so one of the rooms will have 3D printers and a whole bunch of different technology. We'll have, now I'm kind of blanking, now I should have come with all of this like fresh in my mind, but everything from etching machines to sewing machines to, what's that? Yes, crickets, yeah, all sorts of stuff. And then the other room will be an old-fashioned art studio with easels and painting, watercolors, oil painting, all different types of art. And so we already have people in the community excited to teach classes to the community, and we've had people donating like sewing machines, and they can't wait to get started teaching. So we're so excited for this. We're excited that the Wanderers wanted to do this for the community. Their parents were, their mother was an educator. She was a librarian, and she worked for the school system. And when they passed away, they left these funds at the Community Foundation, and this is how they think they would want them used. And so it's amazing. We're really, really excited, and we'll come back when it's all finished and invite everybody to, we'll invite you to the ribbon cutting. It'll probably be June.
Thank you. Your expanded hours are greatly appreciated. Also,
Thank
your
you.
genealogy department is excellent. I've gone there multiple times. People are very helpful. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll tell you what, we're the biggest in the region now because Herrick down in Holland kind of closed theirs up and gave us all their materials. So we're taking on, I don't want to say we're taking on the burden, we're excited to take their stuff and to grow our department, and we're hoping to grow it even more. So thank you. Anything else? Okay.
Andrea, how is it going so far for you?
It's going wonderful. Meetings and unbelievable. Really, it is. Perrysburg, the library, Summers. I'm new to Perrysburg as well, but the Summers library, that direction.
This is what we've really liked about Andrea, is that she's bringing things up to us like this that we just haven't really thought about, and bringing a fresh perspective. And so we have a ways to go, and we're going to get there. So it's exciting.
The library provides wide variety of things.
We had mini golf over the Christmas break, and families were lined up, like whole families were doing it together, and it was fun. Yeah, it was good.
A fresh look is always interesting. Appreciate your service.
Yeah.
Appreciate you
It's
stepping
good.
up.
We love having her, so thank you. Yeah.
Yep.
Good.
Very good. Thank you. Moving on to 7B, discussion and take action if appropriate to approve a proposal from Prine and Newhoff for design and construction engineering for the 174th Avenue project. Craig, you want to fill us in on this?
Yes. So 174th Avenue is scheduled to be reconstructed from 5th Street to Dogwood Drive in 2027. The city received $400,000 through the MPO for this project. Prine and Newhoff has done numerous jobs in the city. Staff's always been pleased with the results that have come out of their work. We asked for a quote for Prine and Newhoff, and that's included in your packet. And staff is recommending that City Council approve that proposal.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
Approve the proposal from Prime and Niehoff for design and construction and engineering on the 174th Avenue project.
Support.
Anyone have any questions or concerns?
I have some questions if you
You
would.
bet.
Craig, when is Smith's Bridge supposed to start?
We do not know the start date of it. Bids are due in June of 2026. That bridge is part of a 7-bridge bundling program through the state. Once the bid is awarded to the contractor has the option to choose what bridge on the order. So we'll have to work with that project and the 174th project to make sure that we don't have both sections of the streets closed at the same time.
So what happens if, the funds are obligated under contract by September 30th of 2027? What if that interferes with the bridge projects interfere? Do we lose the funding?
I've talked to the MPO about this, and they're willing to work with the city to make sure that we don't lose the funds on that. We can do some kind of different things, as long as the money's obligated by that time. We should be able to be good on this.
So if we obligated them funds to a different project, we still get the funds, but we're still short on this project then, correct?
Correct.
And then we would have to fund it 100% by city?
If we're doing it, yep. Unless we wait down, push it down the road and go through the MPO. Usually the city gets money from the MPO every 3 years,
Typically, does the MPO give us money every year?
every 3 years.
So we would be looking at 2029 then if we,
So the current tip is 2026 through 2029, so it'll be sometime after 2029.
so you see what my concern is here with Smith's Bridge coming up. When are we supposed to get a date definite on Smith's Bridge?
It'll be sometime in the fall of this year.
So we have time possibly to do them both?
Yes,
it
we'll have
looks-
time to do both. So, you know, if the project's gonna start in 2027 or 2028, we wanna get this design engineer ready, so if it's gonna be pushed out, the bridge done, it's gonna be done later, we wanna get this project done first. The bridge is gonna be done first, we'll push this project back to,
Well, typically, if we push this project back, the bottom line number is gonna change dramatically.
you know, it depends on when we start it. We could either start in fall of 2026, spring of 2027, fall of 2027. MPO's indicated they're willing to work with us. If we start in spring of 2028, that should not be a problem.
Okay, thank you.
This proposal is just for the engineering services, correct? Not the actual reconstruction?
Correct, it's for design engineering and a full-time inspection during construction.
Can you remind us what the scope of this project on 174th is?
It's gonna be a repave, there's gonna be some storm and sewer work done. It's, Mac, do you have any scope of the project?
I mean, from what street to what street and?
It says the project consists of milling and resurfacing the full section of 174th from Fifth Street to North Shore Drive, removing 1,700 feet of existing HMA, which is not defined, and aggregate replacing with new HMA, and aggregate from North Shore to Dogwood Drive, and salvaging the existing curb and gutter, miscellaneous storm sewer repairs, replacing hydrants along 174th in the project area, as well as replacing a 20-inch water main, valves at North Shore Drive, and an 8-inch water main valve at Ridge Avenue. It says the proposal scope is to prepare the MDOT program application and preliminary submittals. There's a bunch of other stuff that goes into the engineering, but the scope then would be 174th, 5th Street to North Shore Drive.
North Shore Drive to Dogwood then.
Just to clarify, I asked that question just to clarify for the people in the audience and on video. Rather than just saying it's for 174th Street. It's nice to know where it starts and stops and
Sure.
that type of thing, just a brief synopsis. Okay, anyone else have any questions or concerns regarding this?
I have a question and a comment. So the previous council voted on repaving a portion of Pine Street. How does this project relate to that, if at all?
So City Council approved design and construction and engineering for Pine Street. So the contract, or the engineer firm is working on that project right now. That would be a city-funded project if it's done, and when it's done.
And what is the time frame for that project?
It's known, hopefully this year yet, sometime.
The engineering services or the complete resurfacing of Pine?
The engineer is working on the design engineering right now.
Okay. So Pine Street would be done first. If we approve this, this would be done sometime in 2027. And Smith's Bridge would be to be determined once we approve the preliminary engineering and the bids, which would start sometime this summer.
That's correct.
Thanks.
Anyone else have any questions or concerns? Seeing none, Amber?
Councilmember Murdoch,
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes.
Councilmember Cook,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilmember Sias,
Yes.
Mayor Carlson,
Yes.
motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to 7D, discussion to take action if appropriate to confirm the city, I'm sorry,
You missed one.
7C, introduction of ordinance number 342, an ordinance to repeal in its entirety ordinance number 336, the ethics ordinance. Entertain a motion on the floor, please. Oh, that's right, it's introduction. Okay.
At the last meeting, City Council indicated their desire to repeal the ethics ordinance. So this ordinance has been drafted to do this, that. City Attorney has reviewed it and has approved it.
Any discussion on this, folks? Mr. O'Donnell?
Tim O'Donnell, 540 Ferry Street. I just have one question. Is the code of conduct connected with the ethics ordinance? Or will that remain in place? The code of conduct has been in effect for long before the ordinance was, but it was an attachment.
We have a code of conduct, Tim, but it wasn't ever part of the ethics ordinance. It was never included in the ethics ordinance. I believe.
Thank you.
Craig, do you have anything to add to clarify on that?
That's correct.
That is correct? Okay, very good. Anyone else? City Council?
Your Honor.
Yes.
I'd just like to say that this is a sad day for me. I had high hopes in the ethics ordinance, and I still think it's feasible if implemented in the right way. I understand people's getting tired of the complaints and the cost of the city. I understand their grievances, and I'm just tired of arguing about this all the time, and I think we've wasted way too much time and effort in it. And if the best thing to do is to repeal it and move on, then let's repeal it. But I am very upset about it. I had high hopes that this council would hold itself accountable, and just the opposite has happened, in my opinion, and that's all I have to say. But I won't waste any more of your time with it.
Very good, thank you. Anyone else? Seeing none, let's move on. 7D, discussion to take action if appropriate to confirm the city manager's appointment of Rebecca Brody as Deputy City Clerk Treasurer effective January 7th, 2026. And is Rebecca Brody here? Okay. If you would.
Hi, nice to meet you. I am Rebecca Brody. Most people call me Beck. It's just easier and shorter. I am very excited about this opportunity. I have a husband and 2 kids at home. I have a freshman in high school this year and a 7th grade son. And I think Amber and I are going to have a good time doing all the clerking and the treasuring of the city. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Do we need a motion to waive the residency? Is that what this is
That's
about?
on there next.
It's on next.
Oh, okay.
I'll make a motion. Confirm the city manager's appointment of Rebecca Brody as Deputy City Clerk Treasurer effective January 7th.
Support.
Motion and support on the floor. Any more discussion?
Your Honor?
Yes, sir.
Craig, why do we need a deputy?
The elections are getting more complex every day. At the next meeting, City Council will be reviewing an early voting agreement. all the five area communities got together and for early voting. We're all taking turns supervising. Machinery is going to be doing supervising 5 or 6 days during August and November. So she'll be out of the office those days while she has to supervise the election workers during early voting.
So this is going to be a temporary part-time job?
No, we budgeted for this to be a part-time job and included in this budget. There's other duties that Ms. Brody can do. We've had a part-time election inspector in here working for probably the last year, assisting with election voters.
So I guess my question is, the city's functioned for what, 40 years without a deputy clerk? I just don't see. I don't see that, we need to put more staff members on to do the job that one person has done for 40 years. Explain that to me.
Election laws have changed, reporting has changed. There's more residents in the city. It's just more and more things that the staff is responsible for nowadays.
Thank you.
City manager's workload. And one of the things that always pops up on our city manager annual reviews is take more time off, don't work so much, on and on to our city manager.
That's not going to happen anyway. I don't care if there's 13 people. That won't happen.
Understood.
So, I guess,
If I could add, I think having Beck in the office is going to help with attention to detail. I mean, we're constantly working, we're maintaining and staying on top of what needs to happen, but being able to dive into some of these projects help us expand and grow in the city and being more in touch with residents. It'll open up some room for us to be able to do so.
I'd like to make a couple of suggestions, if I can, with increased staff. One suggestion is starting to utilize the new printer that has OCR technologies. I get a lot of communication from residents stating that there's just such a high volume of documentation to read through, and all of it is scanned as an image. So it's difficult to search through. The other thing, it kind of escaped my mind, but for a minute, I thought maybe look at more automation. We had a discussion about electronic document management, something like that would be really beneficial to the city. Other things I've heard from residents are maybe greater utilization of your social media account. I know you guys are very busy. It's probably difficult to post on there, but I think having a deputy would help kind of tackle some of those things and address the demands we're getting from our citizens who are expecting that, we're always available, we can always respond. So I'm supportive of this position. I think it'll help kind of have another person there to help modernize the city and be more responsive to citizens.
Right. Yes. Craig, will Ms. Brody be required to have the same certifications as Amber as far as the clerkship goes? She'd be certified, fully certified. So if Amber steps out or steps up, she can fill the role.
That's correct.
We have a motion and support on the floor. Any more discussion? Seeing none. Amber?
Councilmember DeWitt.
No.
Councilmember Cook.
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery.
Yes.
Councilmember Sias.
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch.
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Very good. Moving on to 7E, discussion and take action if appropriate to waive the residency requirement for Deputy Clerk Treasurer Rebecca Brody.
Your Honor, I would make a motion, we waive the residency requirement.
Support.
Very good. Any discussion on this?
Sure. How many applicants did you have from the city who are residents of Ferrisburg for the position?
I can confidently say 1 and maybe 2, but I did not see many residing within the city.
We're 3 square miles and we have less than 3,000 people, of which I would say most are probably near retirement or in retirement. Is it possible to amend this motion to waive the residency requirement for all new positions in the city?
Your Honor, I think this is a one, case-by-case issue. I don't think it should be a blanket waive of all.
Yeah, we'd have to amend the charter, I believe.
I believe we would, yes.
So the city charter requires that the city manager, city clerk, and treasurer reside in the city. So those are the only three positions that would have to waive.
Thanks.
Okay, motion and support on the floor. Any more discussion? Seeing none.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes.
Councilmember Cook,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilmember Sias,
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch. Yes. Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Moving on to 7F, discussion, take action if appropriate to waive enforcement of City Code 91.17, subsection B, subsection 7, prohibitive noises for the construction of Smith's Bridge for the duration of the project. Entertain a motion for this.
I'll make a motion to approve, Your Honor.
Support.
Motion and support. Any discussion?
Your Honor, so we are waiving, explain what we're waiving here, Craig.
So right now, the city code states that the only time construction can take place is from 7 a.m. to sundown. The engineer that's working on this design bridge for Smith's Bridge has indicated there'll probably be some night work associated when they pour the deck. So they're asking that section of the city code be waived.
So can we put a time limit on, like 10, 11 o'clock, or, you know, I don't want 30 phone calls from the neighbors. They're hammering at that thing at 3 in the morning.
Well, he indicated that it was just gonna be for when they pour the deck, so there shouldn't be any hammering going on. And, you know, we wanna get this project done in a timely manner.
Well, I understand that, but, you know, I'm concerned that, you know, Mr. Cook lives half a block from it. They start jackhammering at 3 in the morning. I'm sure he's not gonna be a happy camper, along with all the other residents in the area. So we're waiving it all 24 hours, or are we waiving it till midnight? Give me some direction here.
We're asking it to be waived for 24 hours. They can work 24 hours a day.
And they estimate that they'll need this waiver for a week, 2 weeks, what?
Typically, a bridge pour is usually 2 weeks.
Can we put a time restriction on it that they can waive it for 2 weeks, and then after that, they have to abide by the ordinance?
It's up to city council.
I feel real uncomfortable with giving them a blank check here.
I agree with Mike. I think there need to be some parameters around it. Right now, it just says it's a blank check. It can be loud throughout the entire duration of the project. We don't know how long the project will be. I think that communication to citizens either coming from the city or from the engineer about when it's going to be loud would be helpful. But I agree with Councilmember DeWitt that it's too broad at this point for me to feel comfortable approving.
Your Honor, when they worked on the drawbridge in Grand Haven, they worked at night. And it was an inconvenience to everyone, but they did the bridge. And we want our bridge done. So if they have to work during the night, we're gonna suck it up and put up with it until they get the bridge done. We've been waiting too many years for this. I don't think we want to put any roadblocks in front of them. We want this bridge done.
Your Honor, this obviously isn't gonna happen tomorrow. Could you get more clarification from the contractor or the engineer, what they would require and for how long?
Yes, I can.
I think, well, let's just table this and go from there. Look at it again. You know, I'm not opposed to waiving it for a week or two, but, you know, that bridge is gonna take, what, 6, 7 months to do?
Yes, yep.
That's asking a lot of our citizens there to,
But they're not talking about working at night for 7 or 8 months.
I can get that clarified.
could you clarify that and bring it back to us?
Yep.
Thank you.
We need a motion to table.
There's a motion on the table right now to approve the waiving it, so.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, do you think we should have a public hearing on this?
I don't believe so. I think Craig is gonna, we'll table this and Craig will get clarification from the engineer. It'll be on the next agenda.
Craig, I would like some clarification from the engineer on the cost implications this is gonna have if we don't approve a waiver of this ordinance.
Okay.
I'd like to add that I would, if it comes to this or the bridge, I'd rather have the bridge. I mean, I can go live somewhere else for 6 or 7 months, but I don't want to be woken up at 3 o'clock for months on end.
Well, I think if we get clarification, if they need a waiver for 2 weeks while they're doing the deck, you know, it'd be, the main noise I would suspect would be demolishing the deck and replacing that. And after that, they're not gonna do they're not hammering new piles or anything, are they?
No.
So, I'm
I
thinking,
think all they wanna do is
which would be fine, but that's quiet. It's not,
Right.
you know, they're gonna pour concrete.
yeah,
Right.
they'll
There's not-
trucks and equipment
Yeah.
running
Yeah.
and everything else.
That's not.
And
the
backup
same.
alarms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would someone like to modify their motion?
I'm willing to amend my motion to table it until the next meeting.
Support.
Any more discussion before we take a vote? No? Amber?
Councilmember Cook,
Yes.
Councilmember Montgomery,
Yes.
Councilmember Sias,
Yes.
Councilmember Murdoch,
Yes.
Councilmember DeWitt,
Yes.
Mayor Carlson.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Moving on to 7G, discussion and take action if appropriate to schedule a work session as a regular agenda item on January 19th. Craig, what do you have on there so far?
Right now, we have discussion on City Hall rent. That's been out there for a couple of months, so I want to get that taken care of.
Okay. Anyone else have anything to add?
I'd like to add 3 charter changes as a possible work session.
Can you clarify?
Change 1 would be to consider reducing the number of council seats from 6 to 4. Another change would be allowing in the charter remote attendance by council, mayor, and appointed individuals. The reason for those 2 motions are we have had a difficult time enticing people to run for public office. Most of our elections, if you look back in the history, people have run uncontested. There is a problem that getting people to run, I don't think changes to our election process are going to compensate for that 100%. So I think reducing the number of seats up here from 7 to 5 would be more in line with the demand that we have. City of Grand Haven currently functions with only 5 council people. Allowing remote attendance, we have several people who are talented who choose to spend their winters somewhere better than our lovely weather. And there are people who travel a lot. I think allowing remote attendance would probably widen our applicant pool. The last charter change I'm going to propose would be looking at the residency requirements for those 3 positions that you had mentioned earlier, and possibly waiving them, considering how small and how constrained geographically the city is to find people within its boundaries to fill open positions. I think that would help us attract and or retain more qualified employees in the future.
Anyone else have anything to add for the future work session? Seeing none? Got enough to go on, Craig?
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay, wonderful. Let's move on to 7H, the work session fire department. Craig, did you have anything to preface this with?
No, this was a request from Councilmember Cook to put this on the work session agenda to discuss merging with Spring Lake Township in light of the a new fire truck that's been going out for bid right now. This is something that has been done occasionally in the past with the city. We've talked to Spring Lake Township on possible working together. And Mr. Cook will probably fill us in a little bit more.
Wonderful. David?
I think we should call this shared services. So when I ran for the election, one of my platforms was shared services. I accepted the fire chief's invitation to make a trip down to the fire department. I looked at the equipment that the previous council approved to be put out to bid. It's in fully functional form. Other conversations around the fire department was that it's well run, except there seems to be a problem with trying to figure out how to operate the department with escalated costs. So one thing that was mentioned was a 20% increase in the insurance, and that it's harder and harder to find people who are responders who live in the city of Ferrysburg. So what I'd like people to understand is if you were to go knock on the door of the fire department, more times than not, there's no one there. It's not staffed. It's volunteer fire department. So your response time is a function of not only the location of that fire department, but also whether anyone is available to take the call and where that person or people are at the moment that they get the call. So what I would like the city and our residents to thoughtfully consider is whether we can maintain or improve our same level of service by exploring shared services opportunities with other departments in the area. Spring Lake Township is the most obvious choice. It has a fully modern fire department about 2 miles just up the street on 174th. There has been some discussion on Ferrysburg Informed about, not wanting to move, not wanting to lose the services that we have. I'm not proposing that we cut the fire department. I'm not saying that we don't need it. Obviously, we need it. We need people nearby to do it. It's just a matter of looking at our demographics, looking at, the age of our city and the rising cost of equipment. I think that there's an opportunity here to be more prudent with our funds and figure out a long-term strategy with how we're going to tackle rising costs and maintain the level of service. We do have an email from Spring Lake Township that said, great discussion to have. We're fully in support of this. So what this work session is just an opportunity to get other council members' feedback. I can't ask them what their feedback is without violating the Open Meetings Act. So this is just a conversation. No decisions are being made. This is not a sky is falling type scenario. Tonight there will be no decisions made, just basically a conversation. If council is supportive at looking at shared services opportunities, I do have a couple suggestions on how that could be efficiently done.
Have any comments?
Your Honor?
Go ahead.
We have shared, Mike, could you come to the podium, please? I got a question. Everybody approve that? They asked Fire Chief. We have shared a response with Spring Lake Township, Norton Shores, Grand Haven, probably Crockery and Robinson, correct?
We currently have an automatic aid agreement for structural fires with Crockery Township and Spring Lake Township, which means if any one of those three municipalities has a reported structure fire at any time of day or night, we're all dispatched at the same time.
Okay, the other question I got is Spring Lake Township, they have a full-time fire department?
They are a full-time staffed, one person at each station and a full-time chief.
Okay. Do you see any dramatic improvement in our service in Ferrysburg or budgetarily to combine or cooperate or whatever the term you want to make?
So what I can tell you, Mike, is 20 years ago, I took the position as fire chief, and I was told to maintain the service that we have, maintain the equipment that we have. That's what I have attempted to do for the last 20 years. If you look back on any of my annual reports for the last 20 years, your average response time hasn't been any higher than 6 minutes.
So combining with Spring Lake Township would not dramatically lower the response time?
I would, in my opinion at this time, not knowing what would transpire, I would say probably not.
Okay,
Those folks they're running 1,500 calls a year with 2 guys,
Right.
okay? 2 guys. So you multiply that out over their service area, are they going to be on a call taking care of their folks and then something happens here, then I don't know. I don't know what that looks like.
Okay, the other question I got is, I don't know if the city council members all got it, we got an email from Spring Lake Township's going to buy a new fire truck.
They have already bought a new fire truck. They
have
just
already?
bought a $1.2 million engine.
Okay. My understanding from that email was they wanted to combine with another fire truck. Am I mistaken in that?
I do not know what their plans are for anything else. I don't know.
That's what I read too. They're going to buy another fire truck in the next year or so, is what the email said.
Yeah, and they wanted to combine bids with ours to price shop, I guess. We'd order 2 instead of just 1.
This is the first I've heard of that. I don't know.
Well, that was something that was just
Yeah.
emailed
Get a
yesterday,
better
I
deal.
think.
Yeah.
The other thing I got is, we got good service, we got trained personnel, we got good equipment. As a city council, we've been telling the people for 20 years to pass the equipment millage because we needed a new fire truck. This has been going on for 20 years. And then to take and slap them in the face by not buying the truck that in my mind, the city is obligated to buy it because this is what we campaigned on. This is what we ask our citizens for 20 years or more. So if we're going to combine and not buy a fire truck, the question then becomes is, should we refund the money, the tax money that we've collected for the fire truck back to the citizens? I can see all kinds of, we got good equipment in the public works. They may need a lawnmower or something minor, but we bought all new big trucks, dump trucks, correct? And a new.
Anything motorized, we can use that vehicle, motorized equipment millage for. So dump trucks, pickup trucks.
Right, but we've just replaced a couple of big dump trucks, pickup truck. We bought a new backhoe not too long ago, so the major things. So, we slapped the citizens, in my opinion, we slapped the citizens in the face by not buying this fire truck and maintaining our fire department, which, I doubt they would ever approve equipment millage again. This is, that's all I got. I'm sorry.
Your Honor, when this was on Facebook, I got so many calls, people outraged. They do not want to see our fire department go away. They like it, they want to keep it. Everyone was yelling at me. This is the first I knew about it. So I just think this is a little crazy.
Your Honor, my biggest issue is losing control of our fire department and our fire services. And if we give over to Spring Lake Township, we will no longer have that control. Right now, we have a good agreement with the chief. He works well with council and with the city staff, and they know what each other needs to function properly, and that's the way it should go. If we start doing business with Spring Lake Township, we're going to lose that relationship. And I don't want to lose control of our fire department. I think people in Ferrisburg, burgers as I call them, take great pride in their fire department, and I think that they're very proud of the job that the chief does and the entire fire department does, and the amount of training and commitment that they put in every day. every month to maintain our fire department, and I just don't want to lose that. So I would not support it.
John?
Hold on for a moment. I think William's the only one that hasn't spoke up yet. Any comment? Okay, another bite of the apple.
Right,
Yeah.
two in one night, that's a deal. Craig, question for you, the fire department budget over the last, say, 10 years, is it ballooned dramatically?
No, it's been pretty stable, consistent with, there's slight increases every year. Last year, there was a little increase because they bought some equipment. This year it went down because that equipment was already purchased, so.
Basically, it's been stable, not out of control spending as far, I know Mike, when he comes to the council and asks for oxygen tanks or something, or whatever, turnout gear, he's real conservative. He gets what he needs, but he doesn't order a lot or ask for anything more than necessary. So basically, the fire department budget's been pretty much stagnant for
That is correct.
5 or 10 years.
Yes.
So they're, yeah, okay, thank you.
So I think maybe, and I'll put this on myself a little bit, when Dave came to the station that morning, I raised a couple of concerns about my current budget. I get a little freaked out with my budget when I get some line items that are 150% already. I'm only halfway through the year. But I've always been able to cut other things out to make it to the end of the year, and that's what I'm going to do again this year. I have routinely returned between $10,000 and $20,000 every year for the last 20 years. I think I'm going to be pretty tight to that this year. I mean, we may not be able to do that much this year, but I can honestly tell you this department does not willy-nilly spend money. I spend money on things to keep my people safe, and we do what we can to spend what we can to keep our community safe to a certain degree. Things are getting very expensive. Everything you buy, I completely understand that. I see a lot of other departments out there spending money on things that do everything but put the fire out. And all we need to do is get that truck from point A to point B and put water on the fire, and that's all I'm trying to do, folks. I'm not trying to, I will point out some things that may be coming to think about here between Matt and I both. The Public Works Garage is showing its age. Our buildings are showing its age. Those are some things that maybe down the road you may need to think about. I completely understand the money issue. I understand that. I understand we're trying to spread this out over 3,000 folks. But I can't speak on Matt's end. I know Matt does a good job too, but I don't spend money willy-nilly. It just don't happen because I spend a lot. I pay a lot of taxes here too. So, this truck we're looking at is nothing fancy. Like I say, you're looking at 1.2 million that they just spent on a truck versus we're going to spend around 650. We could have went full bore and said, hey, I want this, this, and this. And a lot of people do that, but they don't put the fire out. And I can speak for my staff. My staff does a lot of extra things that they don't get paid for. And there's not a lot of fire departments out there anymore that do nothing for no pay. Our department has gotten a lot less volunteer over the years, which everything down the road seems to have gotten that way, but I can tell you I have some dedicated folks that will go out of their way to do what they need to do, and all I got to do is ask them. As far as some of the staffing levels, I addressed you, Dave. That was not key staff I was discussing. We have an older gentleman that's been with us for a long time, a lot of experience. He's getting out, things like that. We do have a little bit of an issue getting people to apply from within the city. If we could get some more people from within the city, that would be great. But I can tell you right now, the staff that we have right now is dedicated to the heart to serve the city. And it's probably the best staff I've had in 20 years. So,
Chief,
I completely understand the money situation. And we're trying, and it's like your own personal budget. I'm sure you've all seen insurance go up. You've all seen everything you buy go up. It's no different in the fire service unless it says fire department on it, it goes up twice as much. So it's not that we're not trying, folks. We're doing what we can with what we got. That's what I was asked to do.
Now that everyone else has had their comment, I'll jump on. I hate to be the 800-pound gorilla and set the pace with the first comment, so I'll make the last one. and that is that city council has supported the fire department and has been in support of a new fire truck that's been on our schedule for several years now. How many years has that been on, Craig? With the motor pool, 5 years?
10 years.
10 years, long time. So this is no surprise. And Mr. Cook is just raising some questions about, hey, what could we do in terms of efficiency, whether we join with another department or stay solo or whatever. City council has been very consistent with supporting the fire department and not joining with anyone else. Now, certainly, I know for myself, and I'm sure you, Chief, as well as City Manager Bessinger, would be more than happy to go and chat with Spring Lake Township if there's any way we could see any cost savings or whatever else, and entertain some conversation. That's all we're having here tonight. But the glide path has been set for a long time for a new fire truck, and I understand what Mr. Cook is saying about the fact that, hey, and like what you and I have talked about, Chief, the truck can't be certified after, 25 years or whatever, and we're at that point now. But with, let's say we maintain the status quo with 3 departments fighting a fire, if Spring Lake Township is bringing new trucks to the fire, is our truck gonna be capable still? Is that a viable discussion to have? And I believe it is. And so I'd be very supportive of the 3 of us, city manager, fire chief, and myself as mayor, getting with the township and seeing what could be done from a cost-saving standpoint. When we have a fire call, who typically is the first department to show up if we got 3 departments showing up?
Well, again, depending on what community it's in, but I can tell you the other day, we had a call out in
Talking about
Crockery.
fires in town, in our town.
I'm talking about fires in Crockery the other day. We were the second crew in. Ferrisburg was the second crew in there. And I've had Crockery over here, the second crew in my fire.
Yep.
And I can tell you right now, all 3 of those departments rely on each other heavily.
Yeah.
We all need each other just as much as, because, you start talking about rippling departments in that you start losing personnel and things like that by doing that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
So, and you're already struggling for personnel, and it's not just this town. It's that way across the state. Nobody wants to do this anymore. Nobody wants to work. That's the problem. It's a dirty job. People don't understand that, and it's hard to find people to do that. And to tell them, hey, you're going to do 400 hours of training before we let you do anything. And you try to get a line up out your door to doing that. It's a lot of regulation. We're following a lot of regulation, and those regulations are costing every municipality money. So people in Lansing need to understand that. We need less regulation.
Well, council has been very supportive, and
and we absolutely appreciate that.
As City Manager Messenger said, the glide pass has been set for over 10 years for the obsolescence of that truck that we have now. And I think that we probably should just move forward with a small discussion with Spring Lake Township.
If that's your decision, moving forward,
I'm just throwing it out to council, that's all.
I'd like to add a couple
I can't
things.
tell you what to do one way or another, but I can tell you got a good thing going.
Yeah, I agree.
I have a couple of questions for Chief. What is the level of training of our firefighters compared to full-time firefighters? Is there a difference?
Our firefighters are trained at the same level as full-time firefighters in Michigan.
And
that's part of our problem. We're a training ground for the full-time departments.
Yeah. Do we sign any? Do our firefighters do non-competes or restrictions as far as commitments? How long they have to be committed or anything like that?
We recently started having them sign a 2-year agreement. Once they complete their training, we pay for their training. They got to give us 2 years of training or 2 years of service before they leave. And if they leave within that 2 years, they pay us back for the training.
And I understand there are some challenges with firefighters unions for full-time firefighters, restricting what full-time firefighters could with volunteer departments.
Right.
Is that true?
Right.
Did that affect us at all?
It did. We lost 3 personnel over that.
Okay. Do we expect there will continue to be issues with that?
Sounds like it depends on what union you're dealing with. The union in the Muskegon area is a lot stricter than some others. those are the ones that said that you can't be on a volunteer fire department if you're gonna be part of this union. So, and I'm not that familiar with the union part of it.
Have we met with any of these unions to try
No.
to change your mind?
No.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Chief, what kind of, time frame are we looking at here to order that, tanker?
The bids are due on Wednesday.
So the decision is looming
Close.
relatively soon
Yes.
because if the bids come in and.
The bids are 30 days, for 30 days, yep.
Right, so I'm kind of thinking now, if we do an agreement with Spring Lake Township, we still need to replace that truck? I'm sure they're gonna want because the tanker we have now is gonna be obsolete and non-function, correct?
Well, it's as long as it passes pump test, we're fine. But that piece of apparatus is creeping up towards 30 years old, and I can't guarantee that.
Well, I guess my
You
question.
know, we've always been on a 20-year replacement. This one we stretched out to 30.
Well, I guess my question would be is if we work an agreement with Spring Lake Township, they're gonna want our equipment up to snuff, correct? I would
Our
think.
equipment has to be up to snuff or it don't go.
So we need the fire truck regardless if we sign a agreement, you know, a cooperative or however you wanna put it, with the township, I would suspect. Am I correct in that?
I would assume they would assume our equipment is up to par.
So I think, do we have time to get that on the next city council meeting, the approval for the truck or denial?
It will be on the next agenda.
Is that within the time frame we need to accept or deny the bid?
When is the next meeting?
January 19th.
We should have a recommendation by then, I would think.
But that's within the 30 days that they will
Yes.
hold the bid?
Yes.
Okay.
February 2nd meeting will be 30 days too.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Chief, what do you consider fully staffed for the Perrysburg Fire Department?
Fully staffed to me would be 21 paid on call people, but 21 in my 20 years.
How many do you have now?
We've been fluctuating between 15 and 18.
What is-
Right now we have 17, I want to say.
What-
I have 3 in training right now.
So from a city council perspective, at what point do we get worried?
I would say we would get worried at 12 and under. But during the day, the call we had in Crocker the other day, the other 2 departments had minimal staff as well, so that's a daytime problem for everybody. That's why we do the auto aid.
Sure.
John?
Yes.
Do we have a residency requirement for fire department?
I do not believe so, but we've always kind of tried to only hire the road to the north, 148th to the east, Robbins Road to the south. We kind of try to stay in that area if we can. I've got a couple that are reaching a little bit far, Egan, but we've got, what is there now, Tim? Perrysburg. 8, 7? There's 7 of us in the city right now.
Okay, thank you.
And 3 right across the street, so. Like I say, our response times have been under 6 minutes for quite a while, and I would say that's pretty good.
So, Chief, I think there'd be some benefit into talking with the at least regional unions of the active, full-time fire departments. I think having a conversation with them at a minimum, as long as they're not shared services, it shouldn't impact them actually. And maybe we look at some sort of incentive or recruiting program for the city of Perrysburg, whether it's incentivizing people to live here, incentivizing current firefighters to move here, something to get more people close.
So a little bit of the problem with that is obviously the housing cost here is very, very high. So you get a 18 to 25, 30-year-old person to live here, that's a little bit of a stumbling block. So, we have looked at some different things recruiting-wise, but we really haven't moved on anything per se.
So I tossed out the idea of a meeting between the chief and the city manager and myself in Spring Lake Township. Does anyone else have any ideas as to path forward?
Sure.
Yes.
Would Norton Shores be an option? They're, what, a mile past Spring Lake Township Fire Department, they're full-time. Be a collect possibility?
Yeah, they run more calls than Spring Lake does, so I don't know.
So if we do anything with another department, we may lose response time to our citizens.
Depending on the situation, yeah, I would think.
Okay, thank you.
You know, obviously, you know, those vehicles are out quite a bit. And like I say, without talking to anybody, I don't know what the setup would look like. I mean, obviously something would have to expand probably on their part. I don't know.
Your Honor, I don't think it would hurt for the three of you to have a conversation and see what's possible. It's hypothetical at this point.
And how long has it been since that's happened? I know it was in our packet, but it's been quite a while, hasn't it, Craig?
2011.
Pardon me?
2011.
2011. Okay. Would council be amenable to that?
Since what? Since our last meeting with Spring Lake Township?
That's correct.
Since we discussed something like this, yeah.
2011.
My opinion is if it's not broke, why fix it? We have an outstanding fire department. I don't know why we're even questioning it. I understand costs are going up, but that's for everybody. That's across, you know, the state. I understand we have some difficulties in retention of employees, but that's everybody too. I don't see us moving to the township as a solution to any of our issues. I just see it extra-banding them, making them worse possibly, so.
Okay.
Your
I
Honor,
think it's
I agree with Jerry completely.
Yeah,
I think it's important to note, though, that shared services does not mean we're getting rid of the Ferrysburg Fire Department. If there's ways that we can capitalize on things that Spring Lake Township has, that we can provide our chief with the tools and budget to buy other things that he may have wanted, needed for his crews that he hasn't been able to buy in the past, I think it's worth a conversation.
But we already have that.
I agree with Will. I don't understand how the conversation got from shared services opportunities to our department going away and us losing control. That wasn't the original intent of the work session at all. I would like to point out two other things. One thing is that before I was elected, this council asked that we retain our existing fire truck when we buy the new one, because we're afraid that our $650,000 purchase may not function correctly. During that ask, we also wanted to understand what the carrying costs would be. We have to insure that truck that we're keeping, we have to maintain it, etc. So to say costs aren't going to rise, we haven't even addressed that yet. The other thing I will say is, after the last budget passed, several of you made comments that you felt the spending may have gotten out of control. This is a great opportunity to just have a conversation with somebody in the next community and say, where can we be better? Where can we share services? I don't understand the, obstinance against, I don't want to lose control, I don't want to do this. That just seems closed-minded.
I think I said enough.
Okay, very good.
Chief, would this benefit you? Do you feel like this would be advantage for you to join with Spring Lake Township? I mean, would you be happy about that?
Would I be happy? Probably not, but
Okay.
that's my opinion.
Okay.
I don't think we're talking about joining with.
Well, I don't know what you're
What are we
talking about
talking
then.
about?
I think-
What are we talking
We
about?
had
then?
shared
I think
services
the
already.
We
the
are
main
sharing
thing,
already with them. So what else are we talking about?
we all need each other.
Yeah.
There's no getting around it.
Right.
We don't have enough firefighters in the area. This fire truck we're gonna buy, we're sitting on 40 million gallons of gasoline, 21 million of it goes down on residential streets every day. Thank God we haven't had a problem. But if we did, we wouldn't have enough fire trucks here to deal with it. Just be honest about it. And I understand the stuff is expensive. I get it. But it don't last forever. A conversation, I don't have a problem having a conversation. I don't know what it's gonna do. As far as sharing costs, we have a cost-sharing thing where equipment, major equipment, sometimes we'll get in with a group purchase with the Muskegon Area Fire Chiefs. We're a member of that. They do some group purchasing. We've done that in the past. We bought some couple things through them, which, you know, when everybody buys the same thing, it reduces the cost. We've done that. I mean, I guess the only thing I can tell you is we can have a conversation, but I don't know what it's gonna do for you.
So
Honestly
what would
don't.
change, in your opinion?
I don't know. Somebody wanna help me out? Am I not thinking?
Nothing's going to change because beyond even our automatic data is a dispatching procedure. It's where we all get dispatched together. But say we're on one medical somewhere in the city, there's another medical, and Spring Lake is available, there's no charge to us to call them as mutual. So even with our services that are provided, they've called us for additional medicals before. A meeting, at least from my perspective, department would not go anywhere that we aren't already. Because beyond adding automatic aid to medical calls or anything like that, we're already getting automatic aid for larger incidents, and you're not going to gain beyond what you already have.
So in a sense, you're already cooperating with everyone.
Absolutely.
So
Right.
nothing
Absolutely.
really would change, because we're not gonna get rid of the fire department building. We're gonna keep our fire truck.
That would be the only thing that I could see, you know,
Right,
if we got together somehow, would be a building, but
right.
we
And we
still
don't want
gotta
that.
we still gotta have the equipment.
Right. So I don't see any change. I don't see what would be different.
We have an email from Spring Lake Township that enumerates some of the possible benefits. I'm going to read some of them right now. The first thing it says is no loss of identity for the city of Ferrisburg or the township. A significant capital savings of equipment, better purchasing power, 24/7, 365 days a year, full-time paramedic coverage, fire inspections, fire investigations. The email says, it's my hope that we might just explore some mutually beneficial opportunities. And these are just some examples, including the process of purchasing a new fire truck. It says the township will be in the process of purchasing another new fire truck in the next year or two. I would also like to add that there was a correspondence to me that said you could have purchased the fire truck 5 years ago, but we didn't. One thing that I keep hearing that I heard before I was elected was, we got to buy the sucker soon because they're going to change the emission standards and then the price is going to go up sky high. That just seems to me, and this is no pun against the fire department, but the people selling this equipment, that just sounds like a sales tactic to get a sale quickly and soon. I don't want to make a decision like this without exploring all of the potential options.
So all I can tell you is you got a cutoff date at some point this year when the current emission goes away and the new emission comes. And that will add 50 to 60,000. That's a federal government state. That's not my saying. And it's not a sales pitch. This is what we're being told. So if you know something I don't, that's fine. You already know more than I do. I haven't seen that paper, so I don't know.
Can someone answer the question, why didn't we buy the truck 5 years ago?
I'll tell you why we didn't buy the truck 5 years ago, because I didn't feel it was in bad enough shape to spend that kind of money at that point. And I had no idea, and nobody in this room had any idea COVID was going to come along and jack the price out of everything like it did.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. That's a fact.
One of the other things, Dave, was at that point in time, we didn't have the money.
Right.
You know, we ended up having to buy 2 or 3, I think 2 new dump trucks with plows. They were what, 140, 150 grand? I don't remember the exact numbers. And we had backhoe we had to replace it. It's time for the fire truck. We've changed everything else, and it's, you know, we literally did not have the money to do it. That's why we've been real frugal in that fund to build up the cash. We could write the check. I don't know if that helps you or not.
I really appreciate the way that the city has managed its finances. I think the city is in a good financial position. One conversation I had when I got elected was, what's our financial outlook into the future? And that conversation was, it's probably going to be tight budgetarily in the next 1 to 5 years. I believe in the next meeting, we asked staff to come up with a scenario of what our projection looks like. I'm not convinced that we need a new fire truck if there is an opportunity to get that truck through a shared service or some other way. I'm not saying we can't buy it. I'm not saying I won't vote for it, but I just feel the timing, 5 years ago, I understand that conversation, but I think it would be very prudent just to have a conversation. We don't have to commit to anything. This has happened before. So there have been multiple, it seems like, conversations with the township about potentially sharing services. I don't know why those stopped. All I'm saying is I think this could be a great opportunity, and I don't understand why we have it in our minds that we're going to lose control and our fire department's going away. That doesn't make any sense.
To bring some closure to this, it's been a number of years since we've sat down with the township and had a conversation. I think that would be beneficial. Mr. Cook rattled off some of the ideas that Spring Lake Township threw at us, and it would behoove us to do that before our next meeting. The bids are due on Wednesday for the fire truck. The fire truck has been on a glide path for 10 years to replace that pumper. And in the meantime, over the next couple weeks, we'll be able to sit down with Spring Lake Township and pick some brains to answer some of these questions that are popping up. How does that sound to council?
Works for me.
Is that workable? Jerry?
Sure. I mean, I think you're just wasting your time and the chief's time.
Okay.
And, well, I'm just saying, you asked me, I'm answering.
I hear you.
And, it's just, I keep hearing shared services, but then I hear about equipment. And are we talking about shared services here? Because we already have shared services. Or are we talking about shared equipment? Because those are two different subjects.
I like the ideas you just generated, just in our own conversation without talking to anybody outside the city. Imagine what we could come up with if we talked to another organization.
I'm not sure what we come up with though, Dave.
You just came up with an idea, didn't you?
No, I'm asking a question.
Gentlemen.
I'm
trying to come up with a solution to bring closure to this.
I think your proposal works for me.
Very well.
Let's move on.
Very good.
Bottom line is, we're gonna get him a new truck.
Yep.
No, we will.
Okay, moving on. Item number 8, public comments. Do we have any additional public comment?
Hello, Tim O'Donnell, 540 Ferry Street. Just a clarification on a couple things. Dave brought up about the medical coverage. You already have 24/7 medical coverage. I am in charge of the medical division of the fire department, and we have one of our instructors here that does continuing education. We have a continuing ed class every month. Something that is new to our department. I make sure everybody's up to date on anything new that comes out. And the response time, interesting about response time, the response time is for our medical rig. It's not necessarily who's first having somebody already on scene. If you have a full-time department, they have to come from their department, whether it be on 174th or over on Fruitport Road. In Ferrysburg, we can respond from home. There have been many times where I have responded to a medical call and gotten there almost as a dispatcher is finishing dispatching us. So we get there faster. we've got the same training. We have, if I need somebody, I'm an emergency medical technician. If I get there and I determine this person needs a paramedic and there's going to be delay in the ambulance service, we are sharing with, we can call Spring Lake and have their paramedic come. But, so we're already doing everything you've already asked us to do, and everything that's on that list. We're already sharing. It's already available. So, thank you.
Any additional public comment tonight from anyone?
Michael Olthoff, 17423 Hiawatha. This is speaking for me, the private citizen, not the member of the fire department. I did do my own personal research in order to put some numbers around this conversation. Just from public documents, from publicly available budgets, and there were only 2 departments in the county that I was unable to find. You're dealing with the second lowest department budget in the county. This year's approved budget is $207,000. The only one lower than us is Conklin for $167,000. There are already 2 shared services or fire authorities within the county. Both of the contributing governmental entities are paying more than we are paying, even in a shared services agreement. To enter into any sort of shared services to get a paramedic sitting within our station, I cannot believe that anyone would consider putting them there full-time for less than $200,000 a year. So as a public citizen, I do think you're getting just about the best service that you can for the funds. Any additional shared services to get higher trained personnel or to add equipment to our repertoire or anything like that, you're going to go higher than what you're already paying. So just, you can check my numbers if you want to, but from all the available online budgets, the only one I didn't get that I was curious about that would probably be close in service capabilities to us was Robinson. Robinson Township did not have their budget online, and they did not send me the email that I was counting on today. So they're probably your closest comparable. But for our 207, you're not looking at anything close to that, really. The public number available for Spring Lake Township is 1.5. So you're talking about just about your entire city budget spent on their fire department. So obviously we wouldn't fund that whole liability, but you would obviously be looking at a budget increase to merge or to operate jointly in a complete service. So thank you.
Any other public comment tonight?
Kelly Peters, 17818 Short Street. I know that most of you guys come from more of a budget background. Sitting here tonight, I am kind of coming more from a medical background. I'm a ER nurse at Butterworth. As knowing that if we were to join forces or whatever you want to call it, our response time would become longer. The brain, when it does not have oxygen, begins to die in 6 minutes. Our response time is 6 minutes. We don't have paramedic training, but we have the training to be able to save a person's life and keep that brain functioning long enough for a paramedic to get there and or to get to a hospital where I would take over and save their life. Besides the point, we need the services to be able to save the community. And I, sitting in the audience, realize that you guys are probably prioritizing the budget more than the lives of the citizens. Keeping the fire department would prioritize the citizens' lives over the budget that obviously we've talked about has not really gone up as much as what has seemed to be said. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any other public comment tonight from anyone? Seeing none, move on. City manager report?
No report.
Very good. Who'd like to go first on council? Mr. Cook? No report. Okay. No report. No report. Debbie?
No report. Meeting's next week.
No report.
No report.
Very good. No report from the mayor.
Motion to adjourn.